foiled murder plots, a socialist past, and an indirect cameo in a huge blockbuster. John Wayne may have lived large during his decades-long career, but there are many strange details about him that few people know about. John Wayne is a stage name. He was born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa. He wouldn't adopt the name John Wayne until 1930, several years into his acting career. Studio executives cooked it up ahead of his first starring vehicle, The Big Trail, without even involving him. But before he became John Wayne, Marion Morrison already had another moniker. Film buffs and even some casual fans have likely heard Wayne referred to as the Duke by friends and colleagues. It was a nickname he had from childhood. After his family moved to California, they got young Wayne a dog named Duke. The pair were inseparable, so much so that the family started to refer to them as Big Duke and Little Duke. The family didn't come up with the nickname though. Wayne liked to visit the local firehouse with his pet, and it was the firefighters there that first named him for his dog. When he first became an actor, Wayne took his faithful dog's name as his own. His initial stage name for film work was Duke Morrison. It was a name that would only get one on-screen credit for 1929's Words and Music. John Wayne was an outspoken conservative throughout most of his life. He publicly supported Republican presidential candidates, starred in a film that cast the House Un-American Activities Committee in a favorable light, and was once a member of the far-right John Birch Society.
I think it was probably a very necessary thing at the time. The radical liberals were going to take over our business.
It almost goes without saying that a man of such politics was an outspoken anti-communist. Wayne's stalwart anti-communism and pro-America rhetoric was so prolific and prominent that it caught the notice of the leader of the Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin was a big film fan, both for the art and for the potential of cinema to promote Soviet ideology. He liked to play the parts of studio mogul and backseat editor with Russian filmmakers, correcting their work on aesthetic and political grounds. He also enjoyed imports from the West, including the work of Charlie Chaplin. But Stalin did not like John Wayne at all. It wasn't the parts that Wayne played that got under Stalin's skin, but he allegedly considered the actor's statements a danger to the communist cause. Possibly while drunk, he is said to have ordered Wayne's assassination, and killers were sent to Los Angeles to take the star out before being intercepted by the FBI. As reported by The Telegraph, Nikita Khrushchev, who succeeded Stalin as Soviet Union General Secretary, later told this story to Wayne himself. You might think that a man so outspoken and committed to Republican politics that Joseph Stalin wanted him dead would never have strayed from the political right. But in the same 1971 Playboy interview where he infamously dismissed social programs, Native American genocide, and civil rights, Wayne also admitted, "In the late 20s, when I was a sophomore at USC, I was a socialist myself." Wayne claimed that he abandoned his early left-wing beliefs by the time he left college. He told Playboy, "The average college kid idealistically wishes everybody could have ice cream and cake for every meal, but as he gets older, he finds that it can't work out that way, that some people just won't carry their load." But he may not have gone over to the right as early as he claimed or remembered. He supported Franklin Roosevelt for president in the 1930s, described himself as a Democrat, and starred in a movie, Stagecoach, that has been taken as a pro-New Deal parable.
Hello, Curly. Hiya, Buck. How's your folks?
John Wayne passed away in 1979, never living to see Ronald Reagan take the White House and spearhead a conservative revolution that swept Washington, D.C.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
He almost certainly would have approved of Reagan's election. The two had been friends ever since Wayne sent Reagan encouraging messages when the future politician, as president of the Screen Actors Guild, led a strike in the 1960s. He later helped Reagan's 1966 campaign for California governor and supported Reagan's first bid for the Republican presidential nomination. Yet, despite their friendship, Wayne felt compelled to write Reagan a furious letter in 1977, accusing him of spreading falsehoods about the Panama Canal Treaty. Wayne broke with many conservatives when he supported a treaty granting Panamanians full control over the canal. His first wife was from Panama, and he had been friendly with its dictator, Omar Torrijos. Reagan was part of the conservative opposition, and Wayne considered his friend's attacks on the treaty to be opportunistic and misleading. He made a point-by-point rebuttal to Reagan's comments in his letter, written on Republican National Committee stationery. He also accused Reagan of being either careless in reading the treaty or obtuse in comprehending it. Wayne sent a copy of his letter to President Jimmy Carter, who heartily approved of it. It wasn't the only positive gesture the actor made to the Democratic incumbent. He also accepted an invitation to Carter's 1977 inauguration and gave a warm and encouraging speech the night before the big day. John Wayne's last credited film work was as J.B. Brooks in 1976's The Shootist. Even though he would live another 3 years, his health was already in decline during filming of the movie, and the story reflects the actor's life at the time in being about an aging man dying of cancer. But while Wayne never worked in film again after 1976, his voice was repurposed for another part before he died. During post-production on Star Wars, sound designer Ben Burtt was trying to come up with a sound for Garandan, the long-nosed, vaguely mosquito-like alien who tracks down the heroes in Mos Eisley. Burtt told the Star Wars Celebration convention years later, "Most of the good sounds have been accidents." In this case, the accident was a buzzing noise coming from a synthesizer that was triggered by John Wayne's voice. Using discarded loop lines of Wayne's from the studio archives, Burtt was able to come up with a distinctive voice for the Kubaz and create a memorable, if indirect, cameo.